On June 22, 2025, the world was jolted awake. The United States had launched direct airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. This was no covert operation. America openly targeted the core of Iran's nuclear program, crossing a line that had only been threatened for years. Tensions with Iran and Israel had been escalating, but this marked a dramatic shift from sanctions and diplomacy to outright military action. For the first time, U.S. forces aimed to physically destroy Iran's nuclear infrastructure, risking not just Iranian retaliation, but a wider regional war. The global economy, especially energy markets, now faces deep uncertainty as the world waits for Iran's response. The strikes have shattered hopes for a nuclear deal, replacing negotiation with military brinkmanship. The next days will reveal whether this was a calculated reset or the start of a conflict that could reshape the Middle East. The U.S. operation showcased military precision, targeting three critical sites: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, each vital to Iran's nuclear ambitions. B-2 stealth bombers dropped massive bunker-buster bombs on the fortified Fordow facility, aiming to penetrate deep underground. Natanz and Isfahan were struck by Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from U.S. Navy submarines, hitting both above-ground and underground infrastructure. The simultaneous strikes were designed to cripple Iran's ability to produce weapons-grade material and overwhelm its defenses. This attack followed a week of Israeli airstrikes that weakened Iran's air defenses, hinting at U.S.-Israeli coordination. All American assets returned safely, marking the operation as a textbook example of modern air and sea warfare. The message was clear: the U.S. and its allies are willing to use force to halt Iran's nuclear progress. The world now waits to see if this show of power will deter Iran or provoke it. After the strikes, the White House issued an official statement to the nation, declaring the mission a decisive success and warning Iran against any form of retaliation. The administration framed the operation as a unique display of American strength, commending the military for its precision and resolve, and issuing a stark ultimatum: peace or tragedy. While the administration insisted it did not seek regime change, the message to Tehran was unmistakable. Further escalation would be met with overwhelming force. Israel praised the decision, but U.S. political leaders were divided, with some warning of grave risks and others condemning the move outright. The international community reacted with alarm. The UN called for restraint, and world leaders warned of catastrophic consequences if the conflict widened. Iran condemned the attack, vowing its nuclear program would continue, and warning of possible war. The world is now on edge, bracing for Iran's next move. The stakes for global security have never been higher. Despite bold claims of total destruction, the true impact of the strikes remains unclear. Satellite images show significant damage at Natanz and Isfahan, but the fate of the deeply buried Fordow facility is uncertain. Experts question whether the bunker busters destroyed the underground enrichment halls or merely damaged support systems. There are also fears of radioactive contamination, but no independent verification is yet possible. Iran's official statements downplay the damage, fueling confusion and information warfare. The world is left to piece together the truth from limited data, as both sides prepare for what comes next. The uncertainty only heightens the risk of further escalation. With the dust still settling, the world anxiously awaits Iran's response, be it direct military action, proxy attacks, or cyber warfare. U.S. forces in the region are on high alert, and evacuation flights for Americans have begun. Diplomats scramble to prevent a wider war, but the risk of miscalculation is high. The strikes may push other nations to seek nuclear weapons, undermining decades of non-proliferation efforts. Iran could expel nuclear inspectors and withdraw from international agreements, plunging its program into secrecy. The next days will test global crisis management and determine if this is the start of a regional war or a contained confrontation. The world watches, hoping for peace, but fearing the worst.